Here we go. Welcome to Crypt Talk Podcast, you guys. Today, we have a special guest. We have Stu So Fresh of all things crypto. What's up, brother?
Yo, what's good? Just appreciate you having me on here. It's great. Just chop it up, man. Let's talk about crypto NFTs, anything latest catalyst news in the space. So, yeah, let's get it.
Yeah, so we tried to make this happen before. We had a couple technical difficulties, but I think this time we should be good. So it's good to finally make this happen. Let me ask you a question. How long have you been into crypto?
I would say just into crypto, just on a bare minimum level. I got exposed to it like in 2017. Well, at least like the year that Bitcoin went on that crazy run to like 20,000 almost, and then dropped back down. So then I saw, I wanted to get into it. I saw the price was pumping. I actually saw Ethereum at like $97, so I had a chance to get on that. But I guess I just really didn't understand the significance of the time and how early I was, and I really didn't appreciate the opportunity. So I tried to jump in on the Binance as far as the platforms to be able to buy, sell crypto. So I tried to jump on there and just to create an account, and then from there I just kind of got denied because I guess it was just a log jam in that, so I just kind of forgot about it. And then fast forward, getting into 2020, I had went back and I started doing with the pandemic. I kind of invested in the stocks and crypto simultaneously, so I had a couple shares of Tesla, and then I started buying Ethereum. That was one of the first cryptos I bought. Started buying that when I was around $300. So I just kept, putting my money behind that as much as I could, along with buying Tesla. But I was learning stocks and crypto simultaneously. But as I began to learn and study, I actually got more into crypto than I did stocks. And I actually eventually done away with a lot of my stock investments. As far as me holding Tesla, I sold those to be able to get it over to Ethereum. A lot of different stuff for cryptos. I seen I started to begin to understand the technology, and then of course with Bitcoin went up to 69,000. My portfolio was booming. I was making good money. I was up thousands upon thousands of dollars. So I was doing really well. When it came to that time and the prices I got in, then ultimately I thought Bitcoin would hit six figures. I thought all these different predictions from all these different YouTubers, and it dropped. And then once it started to drop, it dropped pretty hard. So my portfolio, I was one of them people as far as the first run, didn't take profits. I was kind of a moon boy, all these type of things. So it's a lot of different lessons learned. And then just from there, I started beginning the process. Most people, that would happen. Well, I would just say for some people, I'm not sure, everybody's different, but some people could have took that situation and be like, what, I lost all my money, crypto and different things. I'm kind of out. I'm just gonna take the rest of my money and I'm gone. But I actually decided to double down and be like, all right, there gotta be more than one way to make money in this besides just looking at the coins and just hoping the price go up. There gotta be more opportunities than this. I didn't understand what was available, but I was just I'm gonna start the process to educate myself to see what's available. So then I started looking at yield farming, looking into DeFi, just skimming stuff and airdrops. Then I looked at NFTs, and NFTs was the one thing that kind of piqued my interest from jump. So then once I started looking into NFTs, I started learning about different opportunities, but it still was vague. And then ultimately I ran across, this was probably a year and a half ago when I was fresh in NFTs. But I came across a dude's channel. Dude's name is Block is Hot. I'm in this group now, fast forward. But anyway, I came across this dude's channel. When I watched his channel, it felt like everything just clicked with me when I watched his channel. I started understanding the process of NFTs, what they actually do. Just in terms of just the use case and how you can be so versatile with them, and how it's it presents a global financial system amongst a peer-to-peer system where you can actually create companies and businesses yourself. So that was inspiring to me because I could put out an idea. If I needed to raise $50,000 for a business or a product, I could just put it out in an NFT form, and then have people all over the world actually be interested in the idea, and they want to sow into my vision. and they can fund that $50,000 without me actually having to go to a bank or somebody taking equity in my company. So I thought that was very inspiring. I was just like, it's never been a time in history where you can connect with people on an idea on some Shark Tank type level and connect with people across the world, and you can fund your own idea just globally. So that like really fascinated me. So then I just started the process of learning like the Cardano blockchain. Once I learned about like the Cardano blockchain, I've kind of shifted in like other blockchains as far as that offer NFTs like Ethereum. I've bought mint NFTs on Solana. I've done them on Tezos, just other different blockchains. So, but yeah, and that kind of fast forward, that's where I am now with just like a lot of things in my group and just me trying to help people doing my channel. So yeah, man, I know it's a mouthful, but it's a long journey, man. I'm just zigzagging all the way back and forth, and now I'm here.
Yeah, before we go on, why don't you tell everybody about the different platforms that they can check out that you got going on?
Oh yeah, you can definitely you can find me on my YouTube. I'm currently like about like 700 mark. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. So on my YouTube, I just go over there. I'm educating people about like NFTs, how to get into projects, how to evaluate. I have interviews on my channel in terms of like teaching people how to swing trade NFTs, like what to look for. Also just doing different things, whether I'm doing like interviews with different projects. Ultimately got some future project interviews in the works. And then just from there, I'm just like really trying to educate the process and really show people like what NFTs and what it can potentially do for you. So yeah, definitely check out the channel. And then obviously I got my Facebook group, All Things Crypto. So just on my Facebook group, I'll go and I'll just post in there. Just any latest catalyst news I see in the space, this stuff as far as they call it alpha, if it needs to be shared, I'll drop it in that group below. And then also, you can find me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, and that's also a platform as well that I'm on. And I just go in there, Twitter Spaces, where you can actually go. It's like a Clubhouse audio formats where you can, learn about, different DeFi opportunities, airdrops. I mean, they talk about anything. They'll talk about health and wellness. So it's kind of like Twitter for Clubhouse. So on there, I actually hosted an event, like a live space. We had about 20, 30 people show up, but it was a good turnout for our first try. But tapping in, just doing like the Twitter space and everything. But yeah, you can check me out. Definitely just follow me on my YouTube. Just trying to get that 1,000.
For sure. So let me see. What before we go on, what was it about crypto? Like, what was your introduction to it? You said you've been in it since like 2017, right? Mm-hmm. What was your introduction? Like, who introduced you to it? What was it that you heard, or was it just because the price was going up during that bull run? What was it that attracted you to crypto or introduced you to crypto?
Honestly, it was my brother. It was my oldest brother. He actually was the one that kind of gave me my jump start as far as introduction into crypto. It's ironic because he kind of still has investments, but I guess like he didn't go as deep as I am. But he did give me like the introduction in terms of back in 2017, like he was real bullish on it and different things. I don't know his exact reasons why he might not be as deep as he into it now, but there's platforms where he's in like BitConnect and things like that, or Bitcoin Trade back in the day. And for anybody that's been in space for a long time, like BitConnect was real popular at one point, and then it was like a Ponzi scheme, and then it crashed or whatever. A lot of influencers jumped on there. So yeah, it was my brother that really first introduced me. He was still bullish on like XRP and just a lot of different things. He set me down, and me and my other brother, he was just like, man, we got to get on this. Like, I feel like this is going to be like some next level stuff. Like, he was just like, this is a chance for me to like leave my job and leave corporate and all these different type of things. And I didn't really understand everything that he was, explaining at first. But, it was the introduction where I just began to start the process. So like, I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but I was just in the entire ecosystem just looking at stuff.
Yeah, your story is pretty similar to mine as far as like when I first got in, I was heavy on Ethereum, still am.
Yeah.
Heavy on Ethereum. and Bitcoin, of course. But also, I started seeing that it's more than just trying to moon up on a crypto. You know what I mean? I started seeing staking, DeFi, started dabbling with a little bit of programming on with Solidity. I just started seeing different things that you can do that will leverage with technology that you can leverage financially, right? And have a low entry point. Because if you think about it, like think about the gold rush, right? Or the oil boom, right? Those were big generational wealth building things that happened. You know what I'm saying? In not in our lifetime, it was before our lifetime, a lot of it. But you had to already have some money to set up to you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the oil game. You have to have money for that. You'd have to have a lot to be able to mine gold, which was a big generational wealth building situation. But now we're talking about technology that could be leveraged as long as you have an internet connection and a smartphone. It's a low threshold of entry barrier, right? You could have $10, you could have $100, and you could do with it. And you know what I'm saying? Like what I love about DeFi, it's like, okay, so banks make money by reinvesting the collective money that people are holding in their bank, right? They loan it out for interest, right?
Yeah.
Credit cards, house loans, car loans, business loans, or whatever, and they get paid interest from your money while they pay you 0.25%, 0.5%. So now with DeFi, you can actually be the bank in that regards to put in a pool that people can borrow from, collateral. So it's collateralized debt position. So your money's guaranteed, but now you can get that 8%. You can get that 10% depending on the market. Then with staking, like I like to stake Cosmos, 22%. So now we can do things that we couldn't do because of technology, because of peer-to-peer decentralized finances. Now we can participate in ways that we never were before. We could be liquidity provider, right? You could provide liquidity for certain pairs on decentralized exchanges and get profit from people trading those particular pairs. So to me, I seen it as like a game changer. And it's kind of hard to explain. Like, I don't know if you had this problem when you first got in it and you're trying to explain it to your friends or family or people, and like they just not getting it. They're just seeing it as like, okay, well, if you're not going to get rich quick, you know, I bought the top on Bitcoin, or these did. Some people I know did. They bought the top, then it crashed. They weren't listening when we're saying like right now, blood in the streets, buy it now. This is when you get rich. You get rich when the market is dead, not when the market is pumping. But there's so much more of it than just like, we're going to buy this coin and hopefully it goes to the moon. Like you could really build wealth steadily with this.
Yeah. I think it's that, to me, in my knowledge, like the people that's in it now and that are here just because of like, yeah, of course we're all here to get rich, you know, get money and different things. But you know, for the people that I, you know, see in like the communities and different things and the aspects, I think it's like especially getting in this early, I feel like it's a type of person that gets in here in terms of like, you know, they might not, I guess it's like a commonality or fundamental is what I see. Cause you know, what things that mean a lot to me as far as just like my level of privacy or like the control or these big institutions saying what I can and cannot do, you know, with my own money, that means something to me. So, you know, it's really, from my experience, like, you know, talking to people, you know, about crypto and NFTs, like, I feel like it gives power back to the average person, like you was referring, like getting into DeFi, you know, becoming your own bank and stuff like that. And it's just like, you know, it's hard for me to give somebody that if you don't really have a desire to be your own bank. You kind of cool, not necessarily cool, but you're not really aware. I like, you know, see my friends with all the bullshit that be going on in the world and how they be taking people's money and like, you know, lending overseas, and I ain't getting no benefit off that, or like the fact that like on a very, you know, basic level, even like getting paid for your data and your search, like they'll take, you know, stuff off your phone oh, I talked about this new pair of shoes to somebody. 30 minutes later, when I hop in my car, I see that ad for that pair of
Right.
shoes. So they taking my
Right.
data, and I ain't even getting compensated. So like, if that don't mean nothing to you, or it's just like that's not really something that like I guess resonates or sits with you, it's really hard for me to like give you my reasons outside of money of like why I'm continuing to be here, like what keeps me grounded here. Because it's like I feel like it gives power back to the average person, but
Yeah.
I don't know if we as a people we're not really used to having no power, especially black people. Like we
Right.
just ain't used to having no power.
Yeah. And matter of fact, that was the challenge because I was like specifically who I was trying to cater. You know what I'm saying? Because I see like, yo, this could benefit us disproportionately better because of the historical challenges we've had in the traditional traditional banking system, right? So what I say to people is like, look, before you know what I'm saying, if you want to do the trade and you want to do all this other stuff, just learn about Bitcoin. Just, I'm not even saying buy it. I'm saying study it, because when I studied Bitcoin, what I actually did is I increased my financial intelligence. I understood the gold standard, being taken, the dollar being taken off the gold standard, and what that really meant, what it means to have a fixed supply of a currency, what inflation and hyperinflation is.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So those kind of things. And then like if you understand Bitcoin and blockchain, you could deal with the rest of the industry. You could deal with DeFi. You understand the blockchain better, you could different coins better. You know what I mean? But like you said, just the whole peer-to-peer, the whole sovereignty of your money thing to me. And it's more secure. I mean, like, people say that, it's digital money. It's not really represented by anything. But understand this: 90% of the money is already digital, right? When they did those stimulus packages, they didn't really print up dollar bills.
Mhm.
All they did is digitally minted money and sent it to banks.
Yeah.
They didn't like actually print the money up. Like if when we do bank transfers, I send you money from my bank to your bank. No one's really going to my bank, taking that money, bundling it up, and taking it over to your bank. Right? What are they doing? They're adjusting the ledger.
Yeah.
They're adjusting the ledger. Same thing that's going on with Bitcoin or any other crypto. Adjusting the ledger, except for it's not going to take 3 to 5 business days to do so.
Yeah.
And depending on the crypto, it's not going to cost to do it.
Yeah. I think like people are not that's so key to what you said, and even there's parts of me is I don't know everything in crypto, and I'm not, but I'm confident in what I know, but there's still parts of crypto that I have basic understandings, but like DeFi is something I like to increase my understanding because
Yeah.
it's limited, but I think DeFi is important just because DeFi is what funds and trickles down into like NFTs. If you look at the entire ecosystem on like a blockchain, whether you look at like the Ethereum network, or you look at Cardano, look at everything as far as DEX, dApps, metaverses, all these different things, everything starts with DeFi. Like the DeFi and people are providing liquidity, and like a lot of things is booming on those DEX protocols. That money is going to funnel back into NFTs. And that's a reason why I want to, learn more about DeFi in depth, as much as I know about NFTs, because it relates to NFTs. I have NFTs that are actually DeFi NFTs that, I can actually pair off a token. And if I pair off this token, if I stake it, I earn this much amount of token, like, per month. I could take that token and I could cash it back and transfer it back into ADA and transfer it back to fiat. So it's just aspects that, I don't even know. As far as I'm still learning that, or as far as me that I'm not gonna learn. It's gonna be impossible for me to learn everything I know to the knowledge of NFTs that I do with DeFi airdrop staking, the lend it and borrow and play to earn, like all
Right.
these off the earn apps, like all this would possibly me to know everything. So, but I feel like just having like a going back to your point, just having like a understanding. Even you was referring back to like transactions as far as 3 to 5 business days. That's why people love XRP so much.
Right.
XRP is just like, all right, I could take this whatever dollar, this Jamaican dollar, and I could take this US dollar, and if I want to transfer that dollar, that transaction will be done within like so many seconds. Like that transaction, that's never, it'll take like at least 5 business days for that to go through.
Right.
Or if I want to make a humongous transaction, let's say it's over $10,000, you might have to call somebody and have a bunch of stuff and permissions and stuff. XRP, I get it done just like that.
Right. Yeah. You could transfer literally $1 billion. And this is why you're seeing so many financial institutions that are starting to integrate blockchain technology and even use certain cryptos like XRP. Because I mean, if you want to, if you're gonna have to transfer $1 billion across the globe, and you can do it instantly, virtually for free. I mean, it's less than a penny, so it is free, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be attractive it's going to be attractive to institutional investors. It's going to be attractive to banks. It's going to be attractive to governments. Like a lot of people don't know that MoneyGram, Western Union, and I've covered this story before. Like when you use MoneyGram and Western Union, they would actually use the nipple. They'd use the nipple. They'd use the Ripple network before the SEC did their thing, start suing. That's who they would use. So like I've used Western Union before. It's pretty expensive. It could be up to like 40% to transfer money. But they were using the Ripple network, virtually doing it for free, but still making money at the top, charging. So now you look at remittance. Like you want to know why like El Salvador, one of the big reasons why El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender was because 25% of their GDP was through remittance. People sending money back home. So if you're losing 30% of what you're sending back home, that's 30% of that money that could have been in the economy. So now they're saying Bitcoin Lightning Network, make Bitcoin legal tender. Now they're keeping that money in their economy.
Wow.
And you could do this permissionlessly. You can do this without an intermediary. Like people don't really understand this. And what I really want people, like especially people that are kind of new, just understand this. This is being integrated whether you like it or not. We only have a 2% market penetration right now, cryptocurrency. That means there's still 98% growth, but this is already being integrated. It's already being acquired and by banks, large companies. You can do IRA retirements with crypto. Like this is just what it's going to be. But here's what's going to happen. And this is why I say like it behooves you now to learn how to deal with some of these decentralized protocols, because once all these big banks and large corporations and even governments start creating their products and services, they're only going to create things that already exist in the blockchain ecosystem right now. Yeah. It's going to be things that you could already do, except, of course, they're going to charge a premium. It's not going to be as secure. It's going to be more centralized, meaning that there'll be a single point of failure, meaning that if they get their their server hacked, your information's compromised. So unfortunately, when they do these things, that's when the mainstream is going to be pushing you. Oh, JP Morgan Chase, you can stake your JP Morgan coin with our bank right now. Oh, you can use, you know what I'm saying? They're going to tell you can do things that you could already do on your own. So because this is what's happening, I don't care if I'm not even telling people like, hey, buy this coin, it's going to go to the moon. No, I'm just saying, learn the fundamentals. You'll know what to do. Like you were saying, you only know so much, right? But there's so many different things you could do. It all depends on what your goals are, right?
Yeah.
Because it's limitless, pretty much.
Yeah. I think it's coming, man. It's definitely coming. I'll even take it a step further. Even with all the blockchain technology And then, as far as the job opportunities, it's crazy.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of blockchains that's offering a lot of NFTs, but we also need a lot of developers. And we also need people to learn who knows how to code it, including on Cardano, who knows how to code it. I forget the coding for like Ethereum, but like,
Right.
or just other blockchains, you also need that. But I feel like, the fact that with AI technology, like with the blockchain, like there's a shift that's coming in terms of like, I feel like we're living in terms of like we got a historic model of what we, as far as like how we produce or make income or anything. I'm not saying that's going to just completely go extinct, but there's going to be a lot of things going to be replaced in like the job market just with AI. And like I would say, it behooves you to like learn about crypto as well.
Smart contracts.
Yeah, it's going to behoove you to like learn about that, just because like I feel like one thing just about the Black community, and like it's always just like my mission to like really just try to like help the Black community grow. If I reach one Black person as far as help educating people, I did my part. But I feel like we always come from a place where it's just like our people, we always basically just surviving, and we just trying to make it to the next day. And sometimes like as far as we can see, we can only see what's really in front of us, and we don't have like a big picture type of thing. And some, everybody's situation is different. Some people might not be able to afford to, but one thing, I would encourage anybody that's watching this is just sit back from a perspective like what position do I want to be in 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Like I know what's going on today. Like a lot of stuff is going on today. I got a lot of different hurdles I gotta go through. But if it's a 2% already rate versus 98%, I want to get a part of that 2%. I want to be on the other side of the fence. So just kind of shifting that perspective as far as just like I know a lot of things is going on, but how can I position myself or even position my kids or position my family or whoever my loved ones to be able to put them on game and have a different conversation like 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now.
Right.
I just feel like as Black people, we have to have more of a long-term mindset when it comes to this, and this could bring us up as a race. So that's why I'm just motivated and I'm passionate and I'm fired up as far as I'm gonna do everything I can. Like as far as people that say, "Oh, crypto is a scam" or NFTs are a fad, well, let my grind be the rest of my life. Like,
I mean, NFT could be anything. I mean, you can make an NFT out of a car, so it's not really the NFT. It's like what do you want? What is the NFT? Not necessarily to put NFT in one category, because an NFT could be digital proof of ownership of anything.
Yeah.
And we've already seen real estate houses get sold as NFTs. All it is a digitalized confirmation of the ownership of that deed. Right. Mm-hmm. So, but what I would say for a lot of people, because you made a good point, is like because the market is so volatile, and because you do have like these stories of people that made $1 million in a few months because they got this coin at the right time. Look at it. If you're looking at it like that, you're going to wreck yourself. It's still an investment at the end of the day. And when you read any kind of economic reports and you understand what inflation is, then you understand that you can't get ahead saving money, because the money that's in that bank is losing value. So a lot of people, like, I'll try to make it very simple. So if you get 0.25% from your bank, and let's say you have $1,000 in your bank, you hold it there for a year. At the end of the year, you're going to have what? $1,000, 25 cents or something like that. So it seems like it's more, right? But if inflation is at 5%, then you just lost $50 of purchasing power. So that $1,000 only now can get you what $950 got you last year. So you really actually lost purchasing power. This is why billionaires like Michael Saylor decided to go the route of putting the money in assets rather than banks. This is why billionaires say things like cash is trash. Because if you have $1 billion, you're not going to want to sit it in a bank where you're going to lose at least 5% on inflation, because to a billion, 5% is like 50 million. So you can't even afford just to save. You have to be able to put in, and if you don't like the volatility, this is why I say, like, just learn the fundamentals. You'll understand what to do. Because if you don't like the volatility, guess what you could do? You can move it to a stable coin. You can still stake that stable coin in DeFi, lending and borrowing, and still get 6, 7, 8%, which will at least hedge against inflation. And you don't have to worry about the volatility if that's what scares you.
Yeah.
Right. And then there are ways that you can actually liquidate your profits without paying taxes. If you borrow against it, it's not a tax event because you're not selling it. So there's so many different ways that we can play the game now with this technology that we need to learn it. People need to learn it because, like I said, everything that's gonna come already exists. So you should know it now, but we only have a 2% penetration. To me, Bitcoin is still the king. To me, because of the scarcity, as long as there's gonna continue to be the same or more of a demand for Bitcoin moving into the future, Bitcoin is going to continue to go up. It's not just going to straight go up, but it's going to continue to increase in value just because of the scarcity. That doesn't mean that you can't deal with other cryptos. And I'm not trying to like promote any cryptos or like buy this or do this or whatever. I'm just saying, like, there's so many different ways that you can strategize and play this game and take and benefit, because we only have a 2% market penetration. Only 2% of the globe has any cryptos right now. That's gonna change because banks are buying it up. Large companies are buying it up. Whales are buying it up, and they're gonna offer it back in derivatives like ETFs and other types of derivatives that they're gonna offer it back. It's basically gonna be like an IOU. So like right now you have an opportunity to learn and get ahead of the curve. Like let's say years before the gold rush, you knew it was coming and you had time to prepare to get equipment, to get a labor force, to go scout the best land, to get ahead of the curve. You would do it, right? Knowing what you know now. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah. I think even too, like I was talking to somebody, and they had shared like a personal strategy. You know, I'm currently going to be doing it for the next, bull cycle. And they was telling me, it was talking about like he got a 50% method, and it sounds just from his strategy, like how calculated it was. It wasn't like nothing alarming or breaking down, but just he had a calculated strategy of how he just wasn't trying to he just big on I ain't trying to lose no money. And that's the type of strategy you could do this method in terms of, all right, let's say you got a list of rosters. Let's say you got XRP, you got Cardano, you got Cosmos. Let's say for each of them that you put in like $100. As soon as that, let's say at XRP, whatever the price is, I don't know the exact price of XRP. It could be like 40. I don't know the cent. But let's say it's like 80. Let's say it's like 40 cents, and then it doubles. So it goes from 40 cents and it jumps up to like 80%. Once it doubles, you take out the 50%, or you take out your initial investment of that 40 cents that you just made. And now you're playing with house money, right, with the extra that you doubled on top of that. And if it goes up again, another 2x, and it doubles, you take out another 50%. Every time it keeps doubling, you keep taking out another 50%. So then you're just playing with house money all the way up through the bull cycle. And that's like a strategy that I want to adopt, just like with a similar just process where you can take like the 50% method. And just every time you get a double, you always keep taking out 50%. You keep taking out half. And then if it goes back down and you lose money, you don't care because you got your initial investment back when you first started in the first place. So it really wouldn't matter to you whether the price went down. And of course, you wanted to keep going up because you want to keep taking your money out. But that's a way that you can, double and, triple your profits, and then also keep your gains. And like you said, you can take that money, carry it off in a stable coin and a non-volatile asset. So there's many different strategies that you can take if the level of risk is not high for you. You just doesn't mean you can't get in and you can't jump on this opportunity. You just have to be a little bit more strategic on how you get in and when you get out versus somebody that might have, this $500 to lose. So they might have this, $250 to lose. You that $250, you might need that. You might need that back, or it's just different ways on how you can approach it and kind of look at it to be able to still get in and still take advantage of this massive opportunity.
Right. I mean, I would say just don't get in it on a get rich quick. Like you think you're going to get rich quick. Like learn what it is first. Then you'll understand. Not only that, it's like don't buy the FOMO. Like a lot of people, like even people who I know, who I was talking about crypto for the longest. When they started getting interested? when Dogecoin and SHIB started mooning. Hey, can you help me get some SHIB, man? Help me get some of that Doge. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. But now we're talking about Elon Musk and this and that, and now it's like this is like the tail end of the bull cycle. And I've been telling you this for like a year and a half. So now you want to get it. So now you bought it when it was up 30% that day, right? Then it drops off like it's gonna do. Now you think you lost money. Now you know what I mean? Like you got to look at this like it's a real investment. It's not like a get rich quick. And not only that, this is why I always tell people like learn Bitcoin, learn blockchain first. I'm not telling you to buy it. Because if you don't know how to acquire and transact Bitcoin, you're not going to be able to get those coins that you think are going to 100 or 1,000x. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't know how to deal with Bitcoin, like for instance, Shiba Inu. Think about the people who got rich off of Shiba Inu, right? Those are the people who bought it before it was on Coinbase, right? Because once it got to Coinbase, it didn't 1,000x from Coinbase.
No, it sure didn't.
So the people who got rich off of it and made some money off of it, some real money off of it, like I made some money off of Doge, SHIB, but guess what? I got it when you had to trade it on a self custody wallet and or pancake swap, and do the slippage and trade, go in there with the Binance Smart Chain and copy the source code, and you had to do a lot of things that somebody who's brand new is not going to be able to do. So I think it's a disservice. Like you ever see these posts, like people will be like, oh man, I'm thinking about buying Bitcoin for the first time, blah, blah, blah. And then people tell them about this coin that's popping on Twitter, or some coin that someone who's brand new to crypto is not going to be able to do the maneuvers to get those kind of coins that have such a low market cap that it has that 1,000x potential. Because think about it. If you made $1 million off of Doge, if you bought $1,000 worth of Doge when it was at a $40 million market cap, by the billion, that's 1,000x. That's how you turned $1,000 into $1 million. That means that you were able to acquire that before it went to a centralized exchange. So this is why I'm saying, like, you want to learn Bitcoin, you want to learn blockchain, you want to learn how to deal with these decentralized protocols like DeFi, because that's how you're going to be able to make those leverages if that's what your goal is. There's levels to this. Then you got to understand the cycle, the market cycle. Like you said, that you didn't really take as much profit as you wanted to with that last bull run, right? Because it's experience. There's nothing that's going to beat experience unless you're paying someone for consultation who's been through that, who have that experience. Because there's moves that I could have made with the Cosmos. For instance, when you stake Cosmos, you get a heavy percentage, but if you want to unstake it to liquidate it, it's a 21-day unbonding period. So you got to be able to time it like that. You got to understand these kind of things. So, Shout out to Voice of Faith. Appreciate you. International from Greece. Showing some love.
Yeah, man. People, yeah, definitely shout outs to everybody. People, cause that's one thing I get hit up all the time. As soon as the meme coin pump, how do I get in? How do I get in? How do I get in? And it's just you already missed the pump if you didn't get in it on like a before a main exchange got in there like Coinbase or Crypto.com. Like by the time it's like the amount of gains that you can make all that is that ship is just about to stop or already have stopped. Yeah, you can still make gains on it just because like once it reaches, it's still gonna go on another crazy run. But you're not gonna have that $1,000 a millionaire story. Like
well, you just gotta have realistic expectations. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in it because you think SHIB is gonna go to $1, you know, that's not realistic. If you understand market cap, if you understand that there's 600 trillion coins, you hear me? That means that there would have to be 600 trillion in the market cap of Shiba Inu for it to be $1. There's not even 600 trillion dollars in the global economy. But you don't need SHIB to go to $1 to make a lot of money. Just understand market cap.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's the same thing. That's kind of like the same thing when go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, and there's value in these blue chip stocks or blue chip cryptos like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like the Cardanos that probably aren't going to 100x, but because the market cap, you know, you can't expect it to 100 times, right? Anytime soon, at least. But you can still make, you know, significantly more than you would traditional markets. And then you could always take the chances with the lower market caps that have more potential in them. But you're not gonna be able to understand that if you don't understand just the fundamentals.
Yeah, and like that's kind of like, you know, people understand it when it comes to NFTs when you talk about market cap and, you know, volume, circulation, supply. Actually, the numbers making sense. That's the same thing when it comes to like tokenomics. When it comes to like all these different NFTs, especially in the play to earn ecosystem, that the biggest struggle for play to earn is, yeah, they can come out with a token, that's great. But if you don't have any use case for that token outside of just it becoming an inflationary asset price and it just going up, eventually like people that got in early, but you know what? Time to sell. And when they sell off, the value of that token is going to plummet. And then you getting in at the tail end of that, you're going to get wrecked. And like, that's the biggest problem for like a lot of these play to earn games is they have no use case for the token outside of becoming like an inflationary asset. What else can I do with the token? Can I go buy merch with the token? Can I go, you know, pay it off and I get some type of airdrop, or just can I transact it to be able to like build something with like, can you pair it into social media somehow? Like it has to be something that is going to have like a use case, like I see like tokenomics is like a seesaw kind of effect. You can't get it inflate too high and then you can't let it deflate too low. You kind of have to balance it out each other. So when it comes to like NFTs, like with a lot of these tokens, once they actually find a use case for the token outside of it becoming inflationary, that's when you'll see it'll be a balanced economy as far as balancing out that asset. And like that's a problem that I see. But you know, people coming in, they don't necessarily understand like, you know, what to look for in tokenomics. You know, even projects that, you know, pay like one of the NFTs I got will pay me like started paying me $300-400 a month just by holding this NFT, just holding it. But I know eventually, like if they don't be coming out with any like use case for that token outside of going up in price, I know that that token is going to eventually become worthless. But at the same time, I got on it early, you know, before everybody else did. So I'm loving like the benefits I'm getting to it now, but that's something that I have to look at. That like, can this token sustain like 5 years? I have to keep updated on their roadmap. Like, what are they doing? Like, and that's just another thing too in
Right.
crypto is like people, people don't, or at least like there's a perception that you have to like stay up to date with your investments. Like you gotta know what's going on with your money. Like at least for me, that's just how I work. I like to know like what's going on, what's the latest on the roadmap. If I'm invested in this NFT, what are they doing in the stage of their roadmap? And if they're not doing nothing, then I need to get out that project because obviously they're not executing and fulfilling their promises. Or if they say, "Oh, we're
Right.
gonna come out with this new metaverse or just some new staking or marketplace or whatever they're trying to create," and they keep delaying it, or the founder is not being transparent on like even where the money's actually going. Like, yeah, you raised like 100 grand for this NFT, and we all invested in your idea, but where is that money going? Is it going to like developers? Is it going towards like different coders? Are you trying to update, whatever minting service that you have, or are you going to have some new updated like staking mechanism, or where's the updates on the metaverse? So actually tapping in and actually understanding, and that's not even just with NFTs. That's just with crypto itself. Like even be keeping up with Filecoin. I like Filecoin, because I like just from a fundamental level. I like the fact that I can load out my data on like my space on my computer and be able to get monetized for it and earn Filecoin. But at the same time,
Right.
like, it not being friendly for like, Microsoft Office and for Apple and iMac computers. But for that, they're gonna have to figure out that process in terms of like it's gonna be able to get adopted on a mass scale. Because I would assume, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people use Microsoft than they do, Mac and Apple. At least just for the older generation. So that's just something like to keep a track of in terms of like just keeping track of your investments and like knowing what's going on with
Right.
the certain technologies that you invest in.
Right. And that's why like the basis of what I do on this channel is share stories, things that are going on, development, partnerships, so you can kind of see, what I'm saying, like I like things that are potentially disruptive. Is it changing the game some way? Is it creating some type of benefit to society that it seems like it's going to be something that's going to continue to grow? You know what I'm saying? That's basically I don't really do the moon boy stuff, but I see like, okay, this partnership is going on. Anyway, before we end this, what are some of the coins that you're looking at? What are some of the projects or some of the tokens that you like and why?
I would say one NFT project that I really like. Oh, there's a couple. I'll name a few off top, but one NFT project I really like is I like Clay Nation. It's a project on the Cardano blockchain. If you follow me on Twitter, that's where I rock like my PFP, and I like that. I like that project just in terms of like I know like it's ran by two women, and they was on like they've been on Business Insider and like a lot of different magazines in terms of that. And then also with that NFT, they got a partnership with Snoop Dogg. So they got a partnership with Snoop Dogg and his son Chance. So with that, also you'll be able to buy, and they're going to start like a metaverse. So in that metaverse, Snoop Dogg and his son's going to be releasing unreleased tracks, and the only way to get access to that is being able to like jump into the metaverse. So when you jump into the metaverse, you'll be able to hear tracks.
Snoop's heavy. Snoop's heavy in that.
Yeah, so you'll be able to monetize.
Snoop's heavy in that.
Yeah, be able to rent out your land. So that's like one good thing that you can tap into. And then also too, they just had a recent announcement that they're actually doing interoperability with Sandbox. One, that's huge for the Cardano blockchain, just because now we get exposure from Ethereum people, and we know one Ethereum whale could come over to Cardano and sweep the floor on like a slew of NFTs. And like the thing is, when you can tell just once you start watching the markets and you look for volume in terms of total volume on like all these marketplaces, like some days we might be lucky to hit like maybe 3 to 400K in volume as far as just for the entire day. But then when you have ETH money that actually flows in, it's like, damn, now we're like 1.2345, like those type of dollars. And it's just like with the Cardano community, since it's so small and since it's so niche, like if anything happens, everybody knows about it. So let's say Ethereum Well did come over from Sandbox. He's like, you know what? I want to jump in on the Cardano blockchain. I see they making moves or whatever, everything I mentioned. They go sweep the floor on the NFT. Everybody in the community will start going crazy and they'll start scrambling. Then everybody will just get excited and they'll just start buying NFTs for this project just because of Ethereum will bought NFTs. That's how small the blockchain is compared to like Ethereum. Ethereum, right. They can make that same type of noise, and then not everybody will know about it in Ethereum because Ethereum has so many projects. Like Cardano doesn't have not one, to my knowledge, they don't have like not one metaverse live in motion. Like all the popular metaverses, like as you see on Sandbox, Somnium Space, even like the Decentraland, all those are live where you can actually go in, you can actually go to the museum if you want to create that, you can actually do all these type of stuff like in real time. With Cardano, it's still building. So there's nothing live that we can actually go in. That's why a lot of people hang out on Twitter Spaces. But like once that kind of comes into play, then you'll be able to jump in on a lot of those processes. But just going back to my point as far as Sandbox and that partnership, that's good just for the exposure for the entire Cardano space. And then especially Clay Nation, you know, because they're going to start partnering up and interoperabilities with different blockchains. That's more money that comes into that project. So that would be one. I would say one of the other projects I really like is, you know, I like the Jelly Cubes. That's another project that I really like. Is getting in that project. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, one guy I follow, Block is Hot, and that's his group. And, you know, he kind of, you know, the light bulb clicked when I watched his channel as far as like certain things made sense. Like I really resonated with what he said and what we saying in his videos. So ultimately I followed the dude. I joined this group because I was like, man, you gotta like start some type of group or some type of like mastermind. He's like, yeah, man. I'm like, he's like, I'm working on that. So then eventually like he started his mastermind group. Once he started his mastermind group, from there, we actually, it was like 10 of us that was in this NFT project, and we wanted to give him a gift for the release of his NFT for his collection. So we released like the gift for his NFT for his collection. Basically we met him in area in his home state in North Carolina. So we met him up there, gave him his gift or whatever. I actually met the dude, founder in person, chopped it up. He really gave me some insight into just like exactly how the processes work in the NFT world and some like really advanced stuff like he was sharing with me. And then I got into his alpha group. And basically what an alpha group is where they share like information. There's a ton of alpha groups on Ethereum, and there's a slew of them on Cardano, there's a ton of them on Solana. So with these alpha groups, what they'll do is they'll come in and it'll just be a big mastermind forum of people, and they have callers, like alpha callers. So when they have alpha callers, they'll call these different plays. They'll say, oh yeah, this NFT's a go. It's projected, you know, just based on level of hype. And they have all this, you know, calculated as far as, you know, what's the social media look like, what's the follower to drop sales ratio. There's a lot of factors that come into like analyze the weather, and they'll give you certain ratings, whether this is like, is this a 6.5, proceed with caution, or is this like a 9 out of 10, like it's about to be red hot fire, jump on it. Just they'll have just a lot of those like analysis like for those different projects. And then too, you get to have live AMAs with the actual projects that come up in the ecosystem. So then, you know, if you're really good as far as audible and actually hearing the founders and, you know, ask them questions, then you can take advantage of that. Just because, you know, I'm biased, but I would just say like the alpha group I'm in, there's many alpha groups in Cardano, but I would say like the Jelly Cubes is probably the top alpha group on the Cardano blockchain. There's many other good alpha groups, but that's just because like a lot of the top projects want to get interviews and AMAs with the project I'm in. So that's good just because they know this group has money, and they know, you know, the Jelly Cubes approve of it, then it's kind of like, damn, they got in good with them. That kind of is good and bodes well for the rest of the people within that community, just because of his reputation in the space. So I'll be able to maximize that. And there's like many other different functions. Like if you earn so much, different like jelly cubes or whatever, then you'll be able to get like staking and earn like so much per month. But you got to hold like 30, 40, 50 of them just to be able to get access to that. And then like also like my last point with them is like you'll just be able to just tap into like a great community and like just being able to they supported stuff that I put on my channel, just different things. But I would say like there's a lot to our alpha group that I'm not even explaining totally full in this video. But it is a mastermind network where you can have, because it's impossible for me to keep up with so many NFT projects and which ones to go after. So I kind of use the network and I could just kind of tap in and mastermind with different people. And then I automatically just be like, all right, these are just the next 5 hottest projects. That's my focus, just in terms of just me striking and extracting information just from that group. So it's just beneficial. And they also, my last point, they also have services where we're going to have like minting bots, and to where for people that don't even know like what a minting bot is, a minting bot is, let's say you want to get access to like a project on the pre-sale for whitelist, because that's how you mint an NFT. You don't have the whitelist, then you don't have early access to be able to buy that NFT. So kind of like when they mint money. But when you go to mint an NFT, you don't have process like access. They have like what you call public mint. And basically with a public mint, everybody can submit their bid to this different public mint. And then from there, like all these transactions are in the queue. And some transactions, like your transaction might go faster into my transaction. So then it'll actually accept your amount of ADA that you send, and you can mint and receive your NFT and go back and flip it. The reason minting bots are so powerful, a minting bot, is just because I have to type my name and password manually. A minting bot could do that in point something seconds, faster than I could ever type. And then if I had that minting bot, it will put my transactions faster into the queue before everybody else is. So if I'm gonna do that and I see that it's already a 3x for every NFT I mint, I'm not gonna mint not just 1, not 2, not 3. I'm gonna try to mint 30 to 40, and these minting bots have the power and potential to do that. So like that's why minting bots are so powerful. And you could use it, and you could split the price amongst like 30 people and be like, let's all go like $175 each. We could all use this minting bot just together, and we could just dominate the entire floor. But then it comes into a battle of like who has the fastest bot, and then different services and different tools. But it's really advanced. But yeah, I could go on a tangent. But yeah, those are my top projects that I really like holding.
There's levels to this, man. There's definitely levels to this. Because you were speaking over my head a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not as versed in the game. I do have like I do have some NFTs with Solana. I do have like some Matrix NFTs and some other NFTs, but the Solana NFT is like part of their game. What is it called? Star Atlas, where you basically stake, a couple spaceships, which are NFTs, and you stake them and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it creates, so it's already paid for itself at this point.
Yeah, I actually got gifted like a
I got a few strips.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, on the Star Atlas.
Yeah, I actually got gifted. I'm actually in the game.
Star Atlas.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me?
That's what's up. Yeah, it's kind of choppy, so we're ready to shut this down. While it's still cool before it gets too choppy. But hey, I appreciate you coming through. Make sure you shoot everybody your Twitter handle and all that.
Oh yeah.
Where can they find you on Twitter?
Yeah, you can follow me at Stu So Fresh, capital STEW _ and then So Fresh is all one word, at capital S, lowercase o, capital F, RESH. So just follow me on Twitter. And then also, just like I said, follow me on YouTube. I just forgot to mention also, I have a preview video where I talk on the crypto workshop. That video, it's a 15-minute preview video on my channel. That video actually got submitted to PBS, and I actually got the one where I'm in a green shirt. That's a preview video. That video actually got submitted to PBS Network, and I got a crypto show that I'm doing, just teaching people about NFTs. It's gonna be like a monthly series, so we're gonna do future videos.
That's what you should do. Yeah,
my local
that
area,
I like that.
Yeah, I got a PBS.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. So I'll make sure I put all the links in at the conclusion of this show. Once again, I appreciate you coming through. We got to do this again. Everybody, make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. I got the link in the chat right now. I'll put all the other links in the description. Support. Like this video. Comment, questions, of course, Crypt Talk Podcast at Gmail. For consultations or story ideas or whatnot. But anyway, I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, same here, man.
Peace.